The Backstreet Boys are one of the most popular and best-selling boy bands of all time. You might think you know the story of the legendary group, but in this video, we're going to explore facts that you probably didn't know about the Backstreet Boys. Welcome to All Vip's Celebrity Corner with Sarah. Today we're diving into one of the most beloved boy bands in music history, the Backstreet Boys. Everyone's heard of the popular 5-member group and their timeless tracks like I Want It That Way and Larger Than Life. But here are 5 facts you probably didn't know about the Backstreet Boys. Fans have been addicted to the Backstreet Boys since their debut album dropped back in 1997. But did you know the band had already been together for years before that? The group even pinpoints an anniversary date, which they identify as April 20th, 1993. The reason being that this was the day Nick, AJ, Howie, and Kevin were first joined by Brian Littrell, who was the last member offered a spot in the band after auditions. Once this lineup was assembled, the band's manager settled on the name Backstreet Boys. He named them after a local flea market called the Backstreet Market, which was known as a hotspot for teens in Orlando. The Backstreet Boys may have been newcomers to the music business in the 90s, but a few of the singers had already been appearing in films and TV shows for years beforehand. Before AJ McLean became a Backstreet Boy, you may have seen him on the kids show Nickelodeon Guts in the early 90s. Meanwhile, a young Nick Carter actually had a small uncredited part in the classic Johnny Depp movie Edward Scissorhands. It's also sometimes forgotten that 2 Backstreet Boys were familiar with one another before their days in the band. That's because Brian Littrell and Kevin Richardson are actually cousins. Kevin's mother, Anne, is the sister of Brian's father, Harold. While many popular boy bands have broken up after a wave of success, the Backstreet Boys are still together today. And they've always had the same 5 band members. Since forming in 1993, the group's lineup has only changed once when Kevin Richardson officially left the band for 5 years in the 2000s. When Kevin stepped away, there were rumors that NSYNC band members Lance Bass or Joey Fatone could replace him in what would have been an incredible boy band crossover. But the group didn't want to replace Kevin, and they later reunited in 2012 for good. Speaking of almost Backstreet Boys, have you heard the rumor that Ryan Gosling was nearly an original member of the boy band? As fun as that story might be, it turns out it isn't true. The confusion traces back to a story told by AJ McLean, who was friends with Gosling when they were aspiring young stars living in Florida. Though the story grew into Gosling having auditioned for the Backstreet Boys, McLean later clarified that he and a young Gosling only ever chatted about the band and he never actually auditioned. The story got so blown out of proportion, McLean said in 2020. But at least we did get to see Ryan Gosling on the Mickey Mouse Club back in the day. Today, you may wonder if boy bands like One Direction or BTS have risen to the highs of the Backstreet Boys at the height of their popularity. The answer is no. The Backstreet Boys are truly the kings of the boy band world. Backstreet Boys remain the best-selling boy band of all time, and the group even established an incredible record just a few years ago. When they released their 2019 album DNA, they became the first band in music history to chart in the top 10 with all of their first 10 albums. There's no stopping these music legends. Did you learn something new about the Backstreet Boys today? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share for more of All Vip's Celebrity Corner with Sarah. Thanks for watching!